Welcome back. You're watching India First. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in Bengal. He sounded the poll bugle, but the Home Minister, in a frontal attack on West Bengal government and Mamata Banerjee, accused the TMC of the killings of BJP workers and cases not being registered. He said of 100 BJP workers who'd been killed, in 75 instances, either FIRs hadn't been registered or the cases were not being investigated, even post-mortems not being done. Remember, the BJP had 18 out of 42 seats in 2019 elections. It hopes to improve its position in the 2021 assembly elections and accuses the TMC of intimidation tactics. Take a look.
बंगाल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपना पैर पसार रही है। तृणमूल कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ बहुत अत्याचार किए हैं, बहुत अन्याय किया है। 100 से ज्यादा कार्यकर्ता हमारे मारे गए हैं और ये 100 में से 75 से ज्यादा एफआईआर में एक भी अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ है। तो इससे ज्यादा बड़ी विफलता शासन की हो नहीं सकती।
Joining me on the broadcast is Professor Monojit Mandal, a political analyst. With me is Gopal Krishna Agarwal, spokesperson of the BJP, and India Today magazine's deputy editor, Kaushik Deka, who's travelled extensively across Bengal. But Professor Mandal, grave charges being levelled by the Union Home Minister accusing the TMC of intimidating BJP workers ahead of elections.
This he has been doing for the last 6 years, ever since he became president of the party in 2014. And even thereafter, Mamata Banerjee won 2016 election with a thumping majority. So these are all allegations, political allegations made by party, which doesn't have any recognizable presence in the state in terms of its connect to the people. The kind of electoral dividends that they had in 2019 is because of a different reason altogether. And even after that, Gaurav, even after that in last year, 2019 November, we had by-elections in some of the assembly constituencies. In all the 3 constituencies are actually owned by the TMC with thumping majority. So I mean, don't go by all these kind of allegations. We know what we are doing. They have their own governor in the form of Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, who is speaking in their voice, BJP's voice. I'm not talking about government of India's voice. In fact, people of Bengal are alleging that the governor office has now become actually BJP's headquarters. In fact, people of Bengal are confused also that who are going to lead the party in 2021.
Is it not a fact that 100 workers have been killed? Is it not a fact that Amit Shah says in 75 cases, FIRs not registered or post-mortem not done, court orders had to be sought? But let me take this to Gopal Agarwal. Gopal Agarwal, the TMC says that political killings are taking place on both sides. The BJP selectively highlights some cases.
No, but Gauravji, we should ask who is responsible for law and order in the state. If TMC and Mamata Banerjee says that we are not responsible, we cannot do anything, then what is the way? They have to exit from West Bengal. They should resign. The thing is, if they say, we are saying that 100 of our Karyakartas have been killed, and it is not an opinion or perception, it is the fact and the data which we are quoting. They should tell, and who is responsible. If they have to give us the data and they have to take action. When the police officer from the chief of police in West Bengal behaves in such a way to with the governor, and he has to be called back from the center, and the way his behavior, shows that the law and order is completely broken down in West Bengal. And the thing is not only that, if the High Court is required to intervene and still they don't do post-mortem, what is the last right of anybody who has been seeing an unnatural death? There has to be a post-mortem.
Kaushik, is there merit that killings are happening on both sides in equal numbers, or is the Home Minister correct in saying these are targeted killings of BJP workers, intimidation tactics ahead of 2021 polls?
Gaurav, I would not know about equal numbers, but political violence is rampant West Bengal, and it's not a new phenomenon. We have seen it earlier
Who
when
is
the left government
responsible?
was in power. It used to do against TMC. Now probably
You are there
TMC is
for
applying the
almost
same
10
tactics
years.
against the BJP. So it's
But
nothing
you
new.
are
We
there
have
in the
seen
state
this
for
happening
almost 10 years.
in the West Bengal. But what is interesting here is that for the first time, it is a fight between two equals, because at the center, the BJP is in power and TMC is in power in the state. So both sides have enough power and enough ammunition to go against each other. And it will be probably in 2021, when 5 states are going to poll, it would be the most exciting contest happening in 2021. And it will decide a lot of things in Indian politics, because for the first time, BJP would also face a serious challenge. In last 2-3 years, we have seen, particularly after 2019 Lok Sabha elections, they haven't faced that much challenge. Apart from Bihar, we would know what happens in Bihar, and after Bihar, we will see what happens in West Bengal. And it's a contest between two equals. Earlier, when left
Fair
was in
enough,
power,
but
TMC was
killings,
not at power
an
because
exciting
it didn't have
election,
the
no
state
doubt,
power.
but killings and political murders would be a cause for grave concern, and the apprehension is it may only rise in the coming weeks and months. We'll be tracking that. But there's another aspect that the Union Home Minister raised in his interview with India Today's Manogya Loiwal, and that was the issue of cattle smuggling. That was the issue of infiltration. Let's listen in to the Home Minister.
कल ही मैं एयरपोर्ट से बाहर आते ही एक परिवार से मिला। हत्या होने के बाद पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करते। पोस्टमार्टम करने के लिए हाई कोर्ट में जाना पड़ता है। हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होने के बाद भी पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करते, कंटेम्प्ट कर लेकर हाई कोर्ट में जाना पड़ता है। अब 5 नवंबर को पोस्टमार्टम तय हुआ है। तो मैंने तो इतना लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का नीचे जाना देश भर में का मेरा दौरा होता है, कहीं नहीं देखा।
Okay, Gopal Agarwal, when the Union Home Minister raises the issue of cattle smuggling, when the Union Home Minister raises the issue of infiltration, these are all issues that TMC says that are handled at a border between India and Bangladesh. You have the border security force that's deployed there. In such a situation, is the Home Minister criticizing his own force? Why blame the police? Law and order may be a state subject, but border comes under the center.
What Mr. Amit Shah has told in your interview is that the BSF looks after the border, but the state government has to cooperate for people infiltrated and through international issues. So there it is for the state government to cooperate with BSF and look into the infiltrated people and cooperate with them. That is not coming. And there are other issues also. When the communities which have come to illegally, they are not even helping in CAA. Citizenship Amendment Act is an important part through which you can control the infiltration. This NRC, etc., national, all these things are not being implemented. The thing is, there is a clear-cut patronage to infiltrator and illegal element by the TMC goons. They are patronizing them.
Okay.
They are supporting them.
That's a very grave charge. Yeah. That's a very grave charge. Okay, Monojit Mandal wants to respond to this, but that's a very grave charge that you are leveling. The Home Minister leveled the same charge that there's complicity in infiltration, there's complicity in smuggling, Professor Mandal.
You see the kind of contradiction they have in their argument. CAA talks about legalizing the infiltrators, and that's the reason Assam is boiling. What are they talking about? I mean,
what is
you don't need
legalizing?
Please let me come in my point. Have some courtesy, sir. You are legalizing the infiltrators who have come to India after 2014. That's the simple reason Assam is boiling.
Gentlemen,
you know the reason why Assam is boiling.
One by
yes?
one.
So, it's not the question of infiltrators anymore. They want to target a particular community, right? We understand that. Our objection to CAA is on a simple ground that it cannot be based on religion. If you talk about the persecuted people, talk about all classes of persecuted people. We have nothing to do with that. But you have targeted a particular community. And the Assam, you first correct your state. The first state that was on the boil was Assam after the CAA last year. You please please, get those visuals right. And this is again a kind of propaganda that they're spreading even about the suicide. You talk about political killings, the suicides are considered as political killing. People die in judicial custody because of diseases. You call it a political killing. People are committing suicide because of theft. You call it a political killing.
Let me come back to the point of
I can give you the
complicity.
I can give you
the
the
point
numbers.
that the Union Home Minister raised about complicity of alleged complicity of TMC workers in either cattle smuggling or infiltration. What's your response to that very specific charge? I'll come to CA in just a moment.
Gaurav, statistic. One BSF officer, Mr. Satish Kumar, is now being persecuted by the CBI. He was hand in glove with the smuggler. The smugglers are operating from both the sides, and the BSF is primarily responsible to check the smuggler, not the state police. Yes, there has to be a proper coordination between the state and the center. But the problem is that if the BSF people they are themselves involved, and the CBI is investigating one such officer, raiding the three houses of one such officer, what can the state government do? The CRPF
Okay,
is now
what can the state government do, says the TMC.
Gaurav,
Okay, quickly, Gopal, quickly respond, Gopal Krishna Agarwal.
I just want to ask one thing. For TMC, people is saying, spokesperson, they cannot stop the killing of the and not maintain law and order in West Bengal. They cannot stop the infiltrator. They are highly, deeply involved into corruption. The center money which flows to the state for M-Fund, that is being siphoned out.
I'll come to that aspect in just a moment. I'll come to Cyclone Amphan in just a moment.
So, sir, what are you doing with
that
the
will also bring the point of 356, where your party also seems to be divided. But let me come to that in just a moment. Kaushik Deka, is there merit in the center saying that the state is complicit in infiltration and smuggling, and a very grave charge leveled by the Union Home Minister there?
I'll explain this, Gaurav, and I believe both sides are very miser with their truth. The thing is that, of course, BSF probably has failed in stopping the infiltration or cattle smuggling, and not only in West Bengal, but also in neighboring Assam. But the important part is that when cattle smuggling happens, the cattle, probably you know that it could go from Haryana, it could come from Nagaland. So it has to go via West Bengal. How is it that state government would not know that such a thing is happening? Or when the infiltration is happening, when illegal people get into the state, there are multiple mechanisms, state mechanisms, through which one can detect an illegal infiltrator. So the border security forces may have failed when it comes to stopping the sneaking. But at the same time, the state government, state authorities, whether it's in West Bengal or in neighboring Assam, they also have failed, and quite often deliberately they have failed in stopping both cattle smuggling.
That's a very important aspect.
And yes,
Gopal Krishna
someone has pointed out that
when it comes to cattle smuggling,
coordination. There needs to be coordination between center and the state, but both are leveling charges. They are not cooperating, or they are not trying to stop it. The problem is that they are just playing blame games.
Because this is big money in both, whether it's cattle smuggling, because cattle smuggling also happens from Rajasthan, it happens from Haryana, it happens from several other states, and from there it gets all the way to Bengal. So why just blame the Bengal administration when several state governments and police, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, need to respond?
But Gaurav, many of the states, particularly Uttar Pradesh, particularly Uttar Pradesh, where there was a large migration from the Uttar Pradesh, the Uttar Pradesh government has taken strong actions. They have banned all the illegal.
Multiple states need to do that, and it shouldn't just remain a political issue. But let me also focus on the other big story, where the Union Home Minister says that there is anger against the Mamata Banerjee government. In fact, he went on to say that the death knell has been sounded for the Mamata Banerjee government in Bengal as he blew the poll bugle. Of course, Mamata Banerjee hit back by saying, let's maintain decorum in language. But let's listen into what he said, what Amit Shah told Manogya Loiwal.
मुझे लगता है पॉलिटिकल पार्टियों से बंगाल की जनता को चुनाव की जल्दी है और परिवर्तन करने की जल्दी है। जिस तरह की भीड़ मैं देख रहा हूं रोड पर, जहां जाते हैं वहां पर, वो एक प्रकार का गुस्सा दिखाती है अभी के शासन के खिलाफ। एक और तो ममता जी के शासन के प्रति आक्रोश है, गुस्सा है, और दूसरी आंख में मोदी जी स्थिति को सुधार सकते, इसकी भरोसा और आशा भी दिखाई पड़ती है।
And Amit Shah also said all details about central aid on cyclone Amphan. Those details will be made public, and then it's for Mamata Banerjee to respond how that central aid was utilized or misappropriated. Listen in.
पक्षपात का आरोप आप पर लग रहा है कि आप अम्फन का पैसा बोलते हैं, भेजते नहीं हैं। केंद्र सरकार की स्कीम लागू की जाए तो पैसा दिया जाएगा।
मैं कल सुनिए ना, कल मैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में अम्फान का पूरा हिसाब किताब देने वाला हूं कि किस हेड के नीचे कितना पैसा हमने भेजा है। मेरा ममता जी से चैलेंज है, बाद में वो हिसाब दे दे कि इसमें से कितना तृणमूल कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं के पास गया, कितना जमीन में उतरा है।
Professor Monojit Mandal, that's an open challenge from the Union Home Minister, an allegation of misappropriation of Cyclone Amphan funds, something that was leveled by the governor earlier.
Then he will give the accounts tomorrow. Let me give him the accounts. 52,000 crores Bengal government owes to the center. You know, they are not releasing the money. Only 2,500 crores in the form of GST has been released only recently. We have been demanding, the Bengal government has been demanding this money.
We are talking about
please, I know where I read, Mr. Gopal. Mr. Gopal, I know where I read.
Mr. Gaurav, you are talking about
statistics. 36,000
you are talking about GST funds.
Central scheme. All the central scheme that the states would implement are due from the center for the last 4 or 5 years.
You talk about Amphan fund. That was
don't disturb me.
Grant from the center for the state.
You gave us 1,000 crores only in the form of bounty. Bounty, the government of West Bengal, it's a massive Amphan which people of this country had never seen in the last 135 years.
There are several schemes.
If you 1,000 crores, all the money were spent in a week. And
there
all
are
the
80 schemes, 80 schemes from the center. You are not giving details. You are not giving details of the bank account of the farmers.
All the accounts have already been given to you. Now you are insulting the people of Bengal who have been hit by the Amphan. At least 1 lakh crores were demanded by the people of Bengal, and the government of Bengal, and that was the estimate.
Gopal Krishna Agarwal, what's the evidence of alleged misappropriation of funds? As the Union Home Minister seemed to indicate, funds that were supposed to go to people allegedly went distributed through TLC workers or were misappropriated. What's the evidence, sir?
There was funds for reconstruction of the houses.
TMC people who are affected, they will not get the dues.
The state government has not constructed those houses and given to those victims. There are 80 schemes from the center where center provides fund to the state government. They have to provide certain data. The West Bengal government have not even provided a farmer's account number. How around the country around 90,000 crores have been transferred to the various farmers' account, but state government does not give proper data to the center. So there are 80 schemes. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. There are other schemes, so many schemes. They are even not cooperating on the COVID front. ICMR had to come here and ask the state government to cooperate to fight the COVID in the state. They are, instead of all frustration to oppose BJP.
Clearly battle royale here in Kaushik. It just appears to be TMC versus the BJP. The Congress and the left appear to be left out, Kaushik.
5 press conferences with all the data. Mr. Amit Mitra, the finance minister of
Bengal. They have
Bengal.
formed an alliance. In fact, I had interviewed newly appointed Congress President Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, and he has rightly said that they are between devil and the deep sea. And they understand that they are not in a position to make that kind of impact in this election. But at least what they are trying to do, probably their aim would be somewhere if they can manage that both in the fight between the BJP and TMC, there is no clear winner. And in that case, they become the kingmaker. At least that is their intention. But otherwise, other than that, left and Congress, they are not in the scene at the moment.
the Congress and the
Fair
left
enough,
are
gentlemen. We'll
spent
track the
force.
story very, very closely. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, Professor Mandal and Kaushik Deka for the moment. Many thanks for joining me. Battle Royale in Bengal. It just gets very, very interesting in the days, weeks and months to come. About 7 months to go for elections. We'll get you all the latest. I now want to shift focus to the other big story that we're tracking on India first. And let's quickly cut across to what's happening across the border. Pakistan has handed over the management of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, taken it away from the Pak Sikh Gurdwara Committee and handed it over to a Muslim body which is considered very close to Pakistan's ISI. And there's furor over this step. Now remember all that was said at the time of the opening of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, or that was said about steps that were taken by Imran Khan. He was hailed as someone who wanted peace, but is the truth finally emerging? Pakistan's bigotry stands completely exposed on the Kartarpur Sahib corridor issue, where oppression of minorities of Pakistan stand exposed once again. India has slammed the Imran Khan government's move, condemned the decision and has sought a reversal. The Ministry of External Affairs in an official statement said that the Pakistan government's decision runs against the spirit of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor and hurts the religious sentiments of the Sikh community. The government went on to say that this arbitrary decision only exposes the reality of the Imran Khan government. Just 4 days ahead of the first anniversary of the inauguration of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, Pakistan shocked the Sikh community by handing over the management of the Kartarpur Sahib and other Sikh shrines to a Muslim body considered very close to Pakistan's ISI. The Gurdwaras will now be managed by a Muslim body called the Evacuee Trust Property Board that will also handle Hindu temples.
What do they know about the Maryada, about our religious affairs, about the way the Sikh religion is practiced? Is this what Pakistan is going to stoop to? I strongly appeal to the Prime Minister of India, including the External Affairs Minister, to take this up with the Pakistan government and ensure that we are given the right to practice our religion in their country the way it is allowed across the globe, and the management of the Sri Kartarpur Sahib be given to the Sikhs and not to a project management committee consisting of non-Sikhs.
विदेश मंत्रालय ये इंश्योर करेगा जो भी कदम उठाए जा सकते हों वो उठाए जाएंगे, हाईएस्ट लेवल तक उठाए जाएंगे और इस ऑर्डर को कैंसिल किया जाए और गुरुद्वारा सिखों का किसी भी सूरत में गैर सिखों के हाथ में ना दिया जाए। किसी भी सूरत में इसका कल्पना भी नहीं की जा सकती, सपने में भी कोई ऐसा नहीं सोच सकता। जिस कैबिनेट ने ये पास करके गैर सिखों के हाथ में गुरुद्वारे का प्रबंध दिया, हम आज तक हैरान है सोचकर कि क्या कभी कल्पना भी कोई कर सकता है कि किसी धर्म के लोगों को बाहर निकाल के और गैर धर्म के लोगों को गुरुद्वारा या मंदिर मस्जिद उनके हैंडओवर कर दिया जाए? क्या ये कभी हो सकता है?
उन्होंने मैनेजमेंट कमेटी को चेंज कर दिया है और जो वहाँ पे हमारी गुरुद्वारा कमेटी थी उनके जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को हटा के उन्होंने अपनी कोई ISI की टीम ले आए हैं। इस पे भारत सरकार की तरफ से और गृह मंत्रालय की तरफ से और विदेश मंत्रालय की तरफ से आएगी। अपनी तरफ से तो मैं आई कैन एक्सप्रेस डिसअपॉइंटमेंट एंड आई स्ट्रांगली कंडेम दिस।
जो पाकिस्तान में ISI है और पाकिस्तान के जो रूलर्स हैं वो पूरी तरह से इस वक्त एंटी इंडिया कैंपेन में चल रहे हैं और वह भारत में यह जो इस तरह की गतिविधियों को प्रोत्साहित करने का काम कर रहे हैं जो भारत को किसी तरह तोड़ने का प्रयास करती हैं।
Let me now get you images of 4 powerful navies exercising together and interoperability. Take a look at Indian Navy's tanker INS Shakti refueling an American ship and a Japanese ship simultaneously in the Bay of Bengal. So you have 4 powerful navies, India, United States, Japan and Australia exercising together in the Bay of Bengal. 4 powerful democracies, 4 powerful navies, when they carry out exercises together, whether it's refueling each other, so they're getting to know each other's systems, common communication, it's also a signal that goes out to an expansionist China that the main effort of four powerful navies is to ensure that Indo-Pacific, the sea lanes of communication, are kept open. Look at this magnificent image of Indian Navy's tanker, INS Shakti. It's refueling a Japanese Navy ship and an American Navy destroyer simultaneously. These exercises will go on in two phases. From the 3rd to the 7th is the first phase, and then they go into the Arabian Sea for the second phase of this exercise. Anti-submarine warfare, anti-ship warfare. These powerful navies will hunt enemy ships and enemy submarines and ensure that they share all information with each other, and that way the Chinese will not be able to sneak into the Indian Ocean. From the seas to the skies, let me now get you images of the next batch, the second batch of 3 Rafales that flew in from France to India non-stop. These aircraft flew 8 hours non-stop. They took off from France, refueled thrice, and landed at Jamnagar. I leave you with these images of the takeoff and the landing. 5 Rafales already in, 3 more are now in. That increases India's air power, but this is fine commentary on the skills of the Indian Air Force pilots and the capabilities of the aircraft. I leave you with these images. That is all we have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.